Hello, my sewing friends. This is Friday Sews. I'm Jen, and this is the sewing room where I made this stuff this week. Let me tell you all about it. I have been wanting a new pool bag. I decided to use a shower curtain, some mesh that I had, and I ended up using some ripstop nylon that I have. And here is the finished pool bag. Yay! It's perfect. There are a couple of things that I wish were different and that I could change. One that I can change. One that I can't change is the fact that I used a dish drying mat with a pattern on it in order to stabilize the sides here. I wanted something that was going to dry quickly when this gets wet. And it was suggested to me by Christine from Christine Sews a Lot that I use dish drying mats. So I found some, but they're printed, and this shower curtain is sheer enough that you can see it's kind of showing through. Okay, I can definitely live with that. And the other is that I used this ripstop to make straps, and I did not interface these at all. And I'm kind of thinking at this point I may just take them off and use some webbing. They're just attached right here at the top where the binding is. I did sew them in an X, so they're not going anywhere, but yeah. This is the greatest thing. First of all, love the mesh pocket where I can put wet things that are going to be able to dry. I love the end pockets where I can put a water bottle and something else if I want. I don't think I have anything in there right now. And on the other side, I have two pockets where I have sunscreen, and I also have my waterproof iPod. On the inside, I have two end pockets, and I have two mesh pockets. The mesh pockets hold all the stuff that used to be down under the towel. The towel is in the center now, and there's nothing under it, so I don't have to go fishing around to find what I need. I don't have anything in the pocket that's the side where I have the water bottle on the outside, but something small would easily fit in there. I have spare goggles on the end and tissues. And on the other side, I put a zipper pocket. So if I take this anywhere, like to the beach, I can put like my phone in there, or my wallet, or, you know, anything that I want to not be seen. And on the other, one of the side pockets, the one that's next to, I guess I have two that are either side of the zipper pocket. And in one of those, I have my spray bottle with water and conditioner in it. If you swim in chlorinated water and you want to take care of your hair, then you can spray this on before you put your cap on or before you get into the pool, and it will protect your hair. So I love it. I love it so much. So I wish I had put a key fob on. I was going to do that, and then I forgot. So I just used a little carabiner for my little, you know, my card to get in. So anyway, that's all done, and I'm so happy with it. I was supposed to have guests coming to stay with us overnight tomorrow, but they had an emergency or are not going to be able to spend time with us. But because they were going to come, I don't clean my house. I mean, I do clean my house when people are coming, but I mainly redecorate my house. One of the things that I noticed was the pillows out on the lanai. There are 6 of them, and you know, through all kinds of thunderstorms and daily being out on the lanai, which is essentially outside, generally speaking, they were filthy. And I knew that no amount of power washing and scrubbing and all that kind of thing, we're going to bring them back, at least to the extent that I was willing to work. So I made covers for them. I took a tablecloth that I had in my stash, found fabric, and I'm pretty sure I had gotten this at Goodwill. But the thing about it is it's a tablecloth, so it is appropriate for things that are going to fall on it and stain it or get it wet. But I also have some Scotchgard spray that I use for another project having to do with that ripstop nylon. And I knew I could spray them. So I made them with a zipper. Where is the zipper? Here it is. I made them all with zippers so they could be removed. There's the old, you can see, look at that. Oh my gosh. So I can take them off and wash them. And I had enough for 6 of these and enough for just 1 more. I didn't put a zipper in it. I just hand stitched this. I hand stitched something. Oh my gosh, Jesus is in the air. So that's mainly what I did this week. That and the pool bag, and then I have another project I'm working on, but I don't want to talk about. I could talk about it, but I don't want to yet. Another thing I did was go to Joann's for new look patterns that I decided I wanted. I decided this because I knew I wanted a specific thing. I wanted a top. And so I have counter books that I pick up at Hobby Lobby, but they don't carry Butterick or Vogue, only McCall's Simplicity and New Look. So I thought, all right, I'll flip through one of my counter books and just see. And so I did, and I came up with several patterns. My Joann's did not have probably more that I had listed than not. I think I have about 10 that I wanted, and one of them is out of print, which makes me really sad because I love that pattern. But I got 4, and I think their selection was limited because they put them on a rack that turns rather than in the drawer. So this weekend, I'm going to my other Joann's to get McCall's patterns on sale. I think there are 2 that I want. One is a Laura Ashley reprint, and so I want to pick those up, and I'll pick up the new look patterns when I go to do that. Hopefully that they'll be at the other Joann's that's equidistant from me. One is west and the other is south, so I'll go to the one that's south. Joann's has them for $3.99 all the time. They don't go on sale. You can't use a coupon, and so it doesn't matter when you go, which is nice. So I went this week, and I picked up these 4. New Look 6644, which is a great set of cargo pants and a V-necked sweatshirt. I really like that this has the bottom band and that it's a V-neck. And I know that my oldest daughter would love these cargo pants. So if I can just get pants to fit her, I know these would be the ones. These would, yeah, that's the ticket. They're really nice. They have a elastic waist. I don't know if there's a true drawstring in there or not, and lots of cargo pockets. And you can even fold up the hems with a tab and a button if you want. The others are New Look 6620. Cute little wrapped top. I love the way those ties come all the way around and tie in the front. And it does wrap in the back for several of them, but there is one that wraps in the front. And fortunately, it's sleeveless. You know, I always make something sleeveless. New Look 6626 is a very cute little dress with a drawstring neckline. And the sleeve is part of the bodice, so you don't have to cut a separate sleeve. And you can also make it into a top, and they give you a little skirt too. So I just thought that was a great little collection, you know. That little dress just caught my eye because that's the way I live. That's the kind of dress I would wear as a day dress. And the last one is New Look 6673. I love this top. I am completely in love with this top. I think this is linen that they've used because I don't think it would look that beautiful if they hadn't used linen. I don't know. It's hard to tell from the photo, but beautiful princess seaming. And then you've got that curved empire waist. It does call for a zipper up the back, but I'm okay with that. And that's all I got this week in terms of patterns. Let's move on to comments. I love reading these, and I love being able to pull some out to share with you. Last week's question was, do you use scissors or do you use a rotary cutter? Well, you had all kinds of opinions, and basically 34 of you said scissors. I have a feeling that has to do largely with our age. 13 said a rotary cutter. 6 mentioned that they are quilters, and that's why they use a rotary cutter. Lots of people said both. I had some comments that I want to share with you about that. Robin Laszlo. Hi, Robin. There are some people that always comment on my videos, and I've kind of gotten to know them through that. And so, hi, Robin. She's an Aussie. She says, I use scissors, but Jane from the dressmaker's closet has shown a pair of scissors which are different shape. They are easier to cut fabric and great for the hands. That's a big deal. As we get older, you know, that motion can get harder and harder. It is getting harder for me because I have some problems with the tendons in my hands and my fingers. So it can be a big deal. Barbara Young says, I always use shears. She's using that term correctly. But that's because I don't have a cutter and I'm not sure I want one. I like my shears to have some weight in them so that the weight of the shears helps to drive the cut. Downside is that it tires my hand quickly. So if you're going to cut out, you know, 5, 10 things in one go, your hand is really going to get tired. So that's the downside of using shears rather than a rotary cutter. But she's a shears person. Victoria Hannah, another of the people that I see regularly. Hi, Victoria. I'm pretty sure she's in Virginia. So she comes down, she's a snowbird, and so she comes to Florida from time to time. She says, I use my rotary cutter for cutting out my fabric. She had a major arm break several years ago. Arm broken in 8 places. Wow. Scissors cause pain. I will pause with the rotary cutter and use scissors for the dart extension and pattern markers. I do have a cheap pair of Fiskars that I use to cut my paper patterns and tracing paper. Those things go through paper like butter. Just do the initial cut, then slide through the paper. Okay, raise your hand if that's how you do wrapping paper. Yes, so fast. No making my hand go up in an up and down motion, which makes it a lot more comfortable for me. So yeah, that is a concern. It is a consideration. Suzette Singson mentioned that she has Kai scissors, which is the kind I also have. She says, So Spire on YouTube has lots of great tutorials for bag making on her channel. Her focus is always on the order of operation when constructing her bags. Maybe you may get ideas from her on the pool bag. I hope to meet all of you at the expo. Hopefully I won't be intimidated. Okay, a couple of things here. First of all, So Spire is now Andrea Marie Chapman. I went and watched a couple of her videos, which were incredibly helpful when I made my pool bag. So thank you so much, Suzette. With regard to meeting everyone at the expo, what I said to her was, are you kidding me? We're just a bunch of introverts with cameras on our phones. That's it. I may seem like a really effusive person, but you know, pretty much I hide in my sewing room most of the day. I don't talk to people a lot because my husband and my daughter are gone all day, and I listen to audiobooks. So please, if you are at the expo or if you ever see me anywhere out in the wild, please come and say hello, because you know, I'm probably more afraid of you than you are of me. Trust me. And I would love to meet you. This one touched my heart. Diana Powers said she's been watching for quite a while and she's down under in New Zealand. She says, I've been sewing nearly 70 years. Oh my goodness, can you imagine? Love it, especially now. I lost my husband of 56 years last November, and sewing is helping me so much. She said so much, S-E-W, much. And she says, excuse the pun. Wow, I know that you have said that you got the best one. She's talking about me, talking about my husband. I got the best one. But she has always thought that she did. I think we both did. What a wonderful story to share, you know, and inspirational that sewing can help you work through grief. It's a way to keep busy. It's a way to do something that you love and create things, which is incredibly helpful when you're dealing with grief. Deb Cobb says, even though I have many of each, rotary cutters and scissors, my scissors are used the most. I have small to large of both, and they're all over my sewing room because I want them close when I need to snip a thread or a corner or whatever. She says, my question for you is, do you say scissor, singular, or scissors, plural? It really irritates me to hear it pronounced wrong. Ugh. Well, you're not alone, especially with the irritation of things being used the wrong way or being pronounced wrong. Oh my goodness, if I started into all of those, we'd be here all day, all year, all week, all month, you know. Well, I, went down the rabbit hole. I thought, well, are people using it correctly when they say, I needed my scissor for this? No, they're not. And here's why. Scissor, singular, is a verb. So it's an action word. It describes an action. So it is the action of separating two things, cutting two things apart. So if you're going to scissor something, you're going to cut it apart. Scissors, plural, is a noun. It is the tool you use to scissor something. I hope that clears up any misconceptions we've all had about scissor versus scissors. I went down another rabbit hole regarding scissors and shears, which would take too long to go into now. I will go into it another time, but that was interesting. Okay, Andrea, last one. Andrea Ryan says, scissors for woven, rotary cutter for knits. Interesting. Spooky that you mentioned notches, as I noticed you cut yours outwards. I used to, but I'm now a snipper. I cut mine out like this. And the reason I do that, there's two reasons. First of all, I can't see a snip. I've tried it and I can't find it. I can't find them to match them together. And I'm sure if I worked a little harder at it, I would be able to find it. But the primary reason is that I was taught years and years, and too many years to count, ago, that I was in 4-H. And so I was 10, 11, 12 years old. And the people that were teaching me, primarily my mom, said, you can snip into the seam allowance, but you don't want to go beyond the seam allowance because then you'll have a hole in your fabric. And so to be on the safe side, you should cut around your notches. So I've always done it that way. I can see them better. I'm not nipping into my seam line, by mistake, or, got in a hurry or something and went a little too far. That doesn't happen to me because I cut out and around them. And that was this week's question. Do you cut out and around your notches, or are you a snipper? Does that make you snippy? Okay, well, I think that'll do it for Friday Sews this week. As always, if you'd like to see a playlist of all of my Friday Sews, check right over here. And I will leave you with not my favorite verse from Micah, but the one from Lamentations. I just love that verse. The steadfast love of the Lord never, ever ceases. His mercies never, ever, ever come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness, oh God. I'll see you next time.